Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. We are talking today, who would you rather have a little bit? How'd the NL get so much better than the AL? We're hearing from the people today. Let's talk ball. Zach Wheeler.
James Wood.
Into the ground. Yeah. Bohm bobbles it, safe at first. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, code Talkin2025. Jake Storielli, Trevor Plouffe, Rob Scirocco producing. It's Wednesday. We're getting into some different topics with the people, just like the Talkin' Baseball days, and we've got a lot from the people, Trev. How are you?
I'm doing great. I always like voicemail episodes because this is what's on the mind of our fans, and we like to go into that a little bit. I did shout out James Wood.
Yeah.
And you said, Zach, have you seen what James Wood is doing this year?
Yeah, it's happening.
928 OPS, 10 homers already, 22 runs, 23 runs driven in. Hey, James.
Okay.
That's all I really got. I knew he was doing well, but this is like a full-on breakout. He's still 22 years old.
You look like... for everyone on YouTube today, you look like you should be in a Outkast music video, and I look like I was cut from White Lotus season 3.
Yeah, two different movies that we're in.
We need to work better on that. But it doesn't matter about the fits, Trev, because we know ball. So let's talk ball. Let's get into it. We got a lot to chew through today. And like I said, it's brought to you by SeatGeek. Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. The MLB season is rolling. Go see James Wood. Hey, I've been looking at SeatGeek for Saturday because the New York Knicks are going to have a big playoff game. You're going to need code Talkin2025 if you want to get in there. My goodness. Or whatever event you are looking to go to, SeatGeek has it. If there's a seat there, they are the geeks. That means they know what they're doing. Go check it out. NHL playoffs are rolling, NBA, and the baseball season. Green means good, red means bad. You just learned how to use the app. Go check it out today. Put in code Talkin2025. Even if you haven't used SeatGeek before, or if you have used a code, the code's good. So why not save 10% off? Thank you to SeatGeek. Let's get into it.
First off, I just want to say thank you, you guys. You help me get through work every day, and you finally helped me after 4 years to finally just start my own baseball podcast. So I just want to say thank you, you guys. And my question would be, when looking at pitchers and hitters, what would you say is the most important stat to you personally? If, say, you were drafting your team, the one pitching stat and the one hitting stat that you value the most. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate everything you do.
Wow. I'll let you run, Trev.
This one's interesting because I think you think about it differently from a front office perspective and a player perspective. Even probably, I think coaches and front office differ on this. I'll start with pitching because I think I have one that's like clear to me that I really like, and it's whip. Walks and hits per innings pitched. I mean, how many people are you putting on the bases?
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. Sure, like a guy that can strike people out, has a lot of swing and miss, can allow for more whip because he's able to get out of those situations with the swing and miss. But, just being a player, playing third base, the more traffic on the bases, usually the worse things get. And having to rely on swing and miss all the time, I think, is a bad thing. So for pitchers, for me, it's whip, and I don't. It's kind of easy.
Yeah, I think for me, all the pitching numbers go together, right? Like it's very rare that if you go to a pitcher's page or if you're just looking at a guy that something's horribly out of line. I do think it's probably the reason that we. The Blake Snell free agency, we've talked about that a decent amount, how Snell kind of approached pitching differently, and he was willing to walk guys, so his whip was actually out of line with pitchers that had his ERA. I feel across the board, and I think people hear it when we do our all-JM team, but usually the ERA, the whip, the FIP, like all of the pitching stats come together that sometimes we're looking at home runs allowed or who has more strikeouts as a differentiator. That pitching wise, there's not one that jumps off the board for me. I would say for hitters, I go to OPS. I think it's a pretty balanced way to figure out who is contributing how much offensively. And there's obviously the caveats that, I don't think Luis Arraez should be graded on OPS. Like right now, I think he's hovering a little below 800, and what he's providing with that is different than a lot of other guys. That's the next zoom-in point. But, if you told me, hey, here's your roster and everyone's going to have an 850 OPS, I'd be like, yeah, that's going to be a really good baseball team, even if we're kicking the ball around the field.
I like that. I also going back to the pitchers. Quality starts to me is one that you got to look at, and I like a couple things that our guy Jimmy does with when he's looking at stats. I'll go to hitters now. OPS is the quickest way to look at someone and be like, has this been a good year or not? If you had to break it down into one, like I guess old school stat, I would still go on base percentage because that to me is, obviously. How are you seeing the ball? If you're not, maybe you're unlucky in your batting average and your BABIP is low, but you're still taking your walks and you're getting on base. I think that's important. So I would lean those two. The park adjusted stats to me are interesting because I'm just thinking as a player, I gotta hit wherever I'm at. Like I can't just because I'm in Seattle, like those stats, the park adjusted stats. You're playing in Seattle. That's to make yourself feel better if you're not like performing. Well, look, it's not me, it's the park. It's like, no, wherever you're at. And that, same thing. If you're playing at Coors, like I got to hit. This is where I'm at. So whatever my stats are. That's how you think as a player. The park adjusted stat is to make your bruised ego feel a little better. That's usually what you would look at there. Guys used to look at WOBA a lot, but I think I don't know if I love that too much anymore. So I guess I'll go. I think on base percentage is my favorite stat to the guy. Then also walk to strikeout ratio. That just tells me if you're in a good spot, if you're seeing the ball well. That's what I'll look at. And typically, look, if you can go 1-to-1, holy shnikes. I'm going to be talking about you a lot on Talking Baseball. But the 2 strikeouts to every walk is usually about average. That if you don't want to be any worse than that.
And in the future, I think people just use OPSS plus, our on-base plus slugging plus steals that will change and shape the game of baseball.
It should.
Why not?
Okay.
Jacob, Trevor, Robert, I'm calling to see what you guys think of the Red Sox first base situation. You think they go out, get some old guys? Little Jose Abreu, Anthony Rizzo? What are they doing?
Whoa.
Nothing. Bring them over. Do we get some BDSM back in Boston? Because who doesn't love big Dom Smith moments? Red Sox legend. Or do we go internal? Vaughn Grissom, Nick Sogard. Apparently they're getting reps. Who knows? I don't know. I don't watch Worcester Red Sox. Or does Raffy get some reps? I don't know. Who knows? You guys might. Craig Breslow might. Alex Cora might. But I don't. What do you guys think? Jake Stocks.
Spicy.
Excellent voicemail.
I mean, Big Dom Smith, Rizzo mentioned.
What about Logan Morrison? Let's go.
Just keep going through it. Canerco. I think I saw him the other day.
No Canerco slander on this pod ever.
Never would. Red Sox first base, Trev. We mentioned this on the way by on Monday. And yeah, hey, your last 3 Red Sox first basemen have been Abraham Toro, Romy Gonzalez, and Romy Gonzalez again. So I guess I probably should have found out who the actual third human was. But, in a lineup that starts off as impressive as any in baseball, Duran, Devers, Bregman, Christian Campbell, Wheelchair, Trevor Story. The first base thing has become interesting, Trev, that the Red Sox also have the crop of prospects and the whole Devers looming situation. Is it as easy as that?
If Devers went to Cora, this is what Devers should do. Call the PR person, say, set up a session for me. Or just go stand in front of your locker and just wait for people to come because they're going to come talk to you. and he should be like, I'll play first. If he did that and was willing to go out there and practice and learn, because, first base isn't something you just can throw yourself into. Like, you got to be a good first baseman. If you go out there and say, I want to do it, I want to help the team, and I'm going to go out there and work as hard as I can. Do you know what the reaction would be in Boston? It'd be incredible, and it would be the best thing for their team. It would open up the DH and allow them to either bring one of the young guys up or go get some sort of a bat. It just would make their lineup better. That's the solution, Jake. Going outside the organization, sure. Who are you going to bring in, though? John Singleton, let's go. Bring him over.
Yeah.
I actually like that fit. It's Devers. That is the answer.
Hey,
you know what? Screw this. Bregman should hold a press conference. I'll play first base and just totally put Devers under the bus.
Trev, I've got an unfair question for you, but what is happening? Why is Cora doing back-to-back press conferences saying, no, he's a DH. We've made our decision.
No, Jake.
What? That's bizarre.
You already paid the guy. The guy is paid $300 million, right?
Yeah.
300.
Yes.
You got no say anymore. Like, dude, you got your money now. Do what we say. I don't get it, man.
But
it's a shock to me. That's the easiest PR move, way to get the fans back with you is just like, I'll play first. Fuck it.
And it's
didn't he want to play the field?
I know one of our friends originally nicknamed him Rafi Big Scoops, 2 scoops. And the glove, like fielding the ball was never kind of the problem. It's felt like a first baseman for a while. I was saying this the other day. It used to be Yankees fans trash talk, like, oh, move him to first. Now Red Sox fans are clamoring for it. And now they're tripling down on him being a designated hitter. He's not an infielder. These are Cora quotes. It makes no sense to me. And I guess, Trev, like, what are they thinking? Is it one of the prospects going to come up and they're going to move Story to first or something like that? Because I don't, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what they're thinking. And it's like
Yoshida
trying to protect someone's.
Yoshida's working his way back, and he can't throw right now. That he would also be a DH. What's
the
happening?
Solution is Rafi Devers at first base, and it's shocking to me that they're like protecting him like this.
Are they?
I can't think of another situation across baseball where like this would be happening. Think about this, Jake. Bryce Harper had TJ DH'd and then learned how to play first base because it was the best thing for his team.
Yes. But
I don't know.
Cora, these are actual quotes from my end right now. No, we asked him to become a DH in spring training. In the beginning, he didn't agree with it. Now he's very comfortable doing what he's doing. No, when Cora was asked if he approached Devers about playing first base, if the Red Sox intend to ask Devers about it, no, said Cora. So, I mean, are they like just trying to put the onus on him to come up and do it, or are they?
Possibly they're setting that up. Maybe they're behind the scenes. Are like, hey, bro, like you're going to play first base, but we're going to make it your idea.
That's the PR. That's the PR move.
I mean, that's not typical like that. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying this as a, fan fiction almost. That's not like a typical thing that would happen, but who knows, man? I don't get it at all.
I'll throw Wheelier over there. He'll figure it out. He does everything. Call
Bregman's 5'10" ass over there.
Call up Roman Anthony. I can't. Rizzo.
Love you, Breg.
That was wild. You know what? Sign Rizzo. That's the answer. Next.
Sign Rizzo.
Hey, Snakes fan here. Wondering, would you rather have Corbin Carroll or Fernando Tatis Jr. for the next 10 years? Please answer this. Thank you.
Whew. This is a spicy one. Brought to you by DirecTV. Are you ready to experience baseball like never before? DirecTV is the ultimate destination for baseball fans, bringing you right into the heart of America's favorite pastime. Bottom nine, bases loaded. Maybe one of those two stars steps up, or maybe DirecTV steps up with their MLB coverage. And you don't need the satellite anymore. Take the roof off. Watch your favorite team score big with nothing on top. DirecTV has the most MLB games with no satellite dish required. Visit directv.com/JohnBoy to stream live MLB games from the comfort of your couch or on the go. Thank you, DirecTV.
You want me to go?
Yeah. It's an easy one, right? Tatis versus Carroll. This won't make anyone mad.
Yeah, on a whim, I think like my mind straight goes to Tatis. And I think a lot of people will probably say the same thing, unless you're super tuned in as a Snakes fan and you just love Corbin Carroll. I think you say that. Overall, the statistics are glaringly leaning towards Fernando Tatis Jr. Obviously, he's played more games.
Glaringly?
550 games, 381 games for Corbin Carroll. I mean, he leads in every single category. When you do the stat head comparison on Baseball Reference, Fernando Tatis Jr. leads in everything except for World Series appearances. How about that? Ooh, shot
that's the first stat we look at with these players.
Shout out Padres fans. But Jake, when you zoom in a little bit more, and I think that's what we're going to do here, when you go from 2023 on, because Fernando Tatis didn't play in 2022, post PEDs, it kind of tells a little bit different of a story. I mean, they are like matched up kind of perfectly. So I guess it begs the question, who's going to be better from now on? Because they've been pretty similar from those 3 years. Where's your head at?
There's a reason that we're doing this, because it's a really good question. Because
Can I give you the stats?
Give me some stats, sure.
So let me get it up again. From 2023 on, Fernando Tatis has played less games than Corbin Carroll, but the slash line is 272, 336, 477 for the 814 OPS and the 123 OPS plus. Corbin Carroll in the same time frame, 261, 343, 480 for the 823 OPS and the 124 OPS plus. So Corbin Carroll has been a better hitter since 2023.
It's razor thin. The B war, which I didn't know if we were going to talk war on stats earlier, because I actually do have some unpopular thoughts on that. Stay tuned. It's who do you really think Fernando Tatis Jr. is? Because when you saw him in the playoffs last year, and he looked like the guy who first came up that couldn't get out against the Dodgers or anyone. And Corbin Carroll doesn't have that same feel. Now, Corbin Carroll, he's kind of been better consistently, and he's younger. Corbin Carroll had a bad first half last year. He had a great second half. So he's basically had, 2 bad months of baseball in his career. He currently has the most total bases in the National League, which that's always an interesting stat that doesn't get used a lot. But, how many times have you touched a bag? That's a good thing to have. And he's got a 943 OPS this year. So we don't know where Corbin Carroll's going to land. As I'm talking about him being more consistent and he doesn't have the PED thing, I think, and Trev, this is why we talk ball, I think you almost have to throw the stats out, and it's a gut check of like, who do you really think Fernando Tatis Jr. is? Because I do think he's one of the best hitters in baseball. And honestly, I think the difference maker would be defense. What Toddy does in right field is game changing. Where Corbin has had this kind of weird defensive track record a little bit, where it's like, wait, you can run like that. Should you be kind of getting this PCA type defensive WAR? And he's kind of not that guy. And again, it's not like a negative. It's just kind of you'd assume it that. God, and then you look in 2023, Corbin Carroll's got 53 swipes. Like that's a game changer. So I think the stats and everything in my heart would tell me to take Corbin Carroll. But if it was, hey, Jake and Trev, you've got the keys to the new Portland baseball team, and you guys get Tatis or Carroll, I think I would just go Tatis.
I think I'm going Tatis, too.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Look, Corbin Carroll's great, but I think there is that both these guys have a decent floor because of the different things you mentioned. Corbin Carroll, his speed. Fernando Tatis, his defense, he's got the speed too, but I don't think he's going to run maybe as much as Carroll to protect himself. That's kind of how I see him aging. We're talking about the next 10 years, people. But there's just something about the ceiling of Tatis that I can't ignore. And that was pre-suspension, was his ceiling. But we've seen him go on these spurts where it's, man, he looks like the best player in baseball.
Yeah, and the other,
I don't know if I've ever said that about Corbin Carroll. Now, obviously, he's an excellent baseball player, but I don't ever think I've been like, that's the best player in baseball. I think you could say that from time to time with Fernando Tatis Jr.
I just think what Fernando's doing this year, and the Baseball References, they obviously tell different stories, and I shouldn't lump Vlad with him. But I've said it before, how last year was a massive year for Vlad. Like, what do you have in there? Are you the MVP chasing Vlad Guerrero Jr., arguably like best first baseman in baseball? Or are you good? Are you a really good baseball player? And that's fine. I think Vladdy showed last year, like, no, I am this guy. I deserve half a bill. I think what Fernando's doing this year, he's on track for that. He is outplaying Corbin this year. And yeah, maybe there's some maturity there. Like 26 is a lot different than 22. Oh no, what'd you just see?
Well, obviously the real answer is James Wood over both of them.
Okay.
That's my guy. No, but so you talked about Vladdy, I'm that guy. Do you remember we talked about like, hey, he's had a couple like 780 OPS years. That's great. And is that who he really is, or is he the upper nines type of guy? This year, 774 OPS.
It's early. He had a slow start.
Too late. No, you already paid him.
It's Vlad's gonna be fine.
14 years, 500.
Next.
Hey, what's up? This is Wyatt, longtime listener, first time caller. What do you guys think caused, if anything, this huge shift from, the AL traditionally being a little bit stronger to the NL this year completely dominating, having the top teams, 3 huge contenders out of the NL West. You got, aside from the Braves falling apart, the Phillies, the Mets, you got serious contenders in the NL where the AL seems to be the stronger league by comparison. What do you guys think is causing that?
Trev?
The first thing that comes to mind is the ability to make the big trade. That's kind of what's separated. If you look at who's or sign the big free agent, I guess, go get the player. The NL has done that, and the AL has not done that. The New York Mets, they went and got Juan Soto. They went and signed Francisco Lindor back then. They've been bringing players in. Having the richest owner in the sport obviously helps that. If you go down the line, the Cubs made a big play for Tucker and the rest of the Astros team. They bring him over. Now they're performing very well. The Dodgers have went out and signed everybody. The Padres and all the trades they've made for Michael King, Dylan Cease. They've done a lot. San Francisco Giants have landed a bunch of free agents. That's been the difference. They've just got the good players when the good players were available. If you look at the American League team, name me a team that's done that.
Yeah.
There isn't a team that's went out and got the big player. The Yankees, they did that, and they made it to the World Series. They went out and got Juan Soto. Then this year, they went out and made some trades for Belly, for Williams. Those haven't been great, but at least they went out and got players. They're sitting with, top 3 record in the AL. They're one of the best teams in the AL. The rest of the teams, they just haven't went out and got anybody. And we've seen that almost for a couple of years now, and the talent level has just shifted. And I think it's just as simple as that, is they went out and got players.
Yeah, the American League, a couple teams that were supposed to be, the Baltimore Orioles were supposed to be in this window of, dude, they did the full rebuild, and is tanking bad for baseball, but now these Orioles are loaded. Well, they're currently a very interesting case study of what is going to happen next with them, because it looks like losing their best hitter and best pitcher in free agency last year, there is a ripple effect from that. Seattle is kind of supposed to be for the American League, like, it's why we get frustrated with them. It feels like they have a recipe, and maybe it's happening right now that we can start talking about them differently. But yeah, I was going to say ownership and spending money, and I was going to do the San Diego example. Like, San Diego has become a baseball town, and look at the stars they've brought in, and they paid these guys. And like, hey, if your owner can do that too, your team should be good. I changed the statement to good ownership because some of these Angels contracts, and we're going to be talking Angels a little bit with a new John Boy Media employee, Swilly. But it was funny bringing up the top 10 in payroll. I think 7 out of 10 are National League, so that's
but that has
something.
to do with them going out and getting the players.
Right.
Your payroll's going to go up if you get the good players, right?
But also part of that, 2 teams in the top 5 right now, your Toronto Blue Jays and the Texas Rangers. Rangers are at 500, and again, maybe they're going to be back involved, and we're going to look at them as a true power. The Blue Jays, their hopes coming into this year was keep Vladdy and fight for a wild card. That, seeing Toronto with a $245 million payroll, it's kind of like that. No one picked them to win the AL East this year.
Yeah, I really do. The more and more I look at it, the more simple it becomes. It's like, look, you need to have your organization provide you with talent. You have to build from within, but then you have to go out there and supplement talent, and you have to go and get the guys that have been proven, tried and true. The National League has done that so much better than the American League over the last couple of years, and that is why we're looking at what we're looking at this year, where it just seems like there is going to be some teams left out of the playoffs of the National League that would run through the American League. And the parity is kind of just not there this year. And the American League team will probably win the World Series because that's how baseball works. But we're talking 1 through 162, by far the best teams are in the National League.
American League dominates the All-Star game, dude. So.
Yeah, they do. Heck yeah, they do, bro. Because the National League's like the party.
They're enjoying their time. Hey, if you're a baseball freak like we are, and you click around Baseball Reference, something that's just interesting, and I know we've said this, and it's just a little more scope to it. They have a playoff odds page, which again, I think a lot of it's too young, and different formulas. What's it actually? 1,000 simulations. Okay, like I don't know. There's something to it. It's another number. But it's just an interesting thing because right now it has another box they've added that's called most likely scenarios. Scenarios? I don't know. In the NL, right now the most likely scenario is it lists the Cubs and the Padres as the top 2 seeds. So that's an interesting note for a big fan base. It has the Mets winning the East, Dodgers, Giants, Snakes as the wild card. So right now, Baseball Reference simulation is telling you the most likely scenario would have no Braves, no Phillies. And that's before you get...
No Brewers.
You got any Red stock? Like, the National League is juicy.
The National League West having 4 teams in the playoffs would be insane.
And again, this is where I would fight back at the scenarios of that. I think
it's scenario.
I'd like to think that those 4 teams bumping uglies for 4 months compared to the Braves or Phillies finding a little juice. That's what would be in my scenario.
Okay. Next.
Hey, this is Brennan with the Arizona Snakes on Instagram. Just had a question out of curiosity because the National League West is absolutely stacked. Which team do you think is most likely to lose steam out of the 4 teams that are kind of vying for that wild card NL West division spot? You think it's going to be the Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Padres, or the Dodgers? Or are they all going to get in? Thanks.
Most likely to lose.
Well, you just
steam.
said they're all going to get in. I think there's a clear answer here. It's the Dodgers. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the Dodgers.
Whoa.
Got ya.
Nice, dude.
Dodgers fans spit out their coffee. It's the Diamondbacks for a couple different reasons. I love the D-backs. I don't want this to happen, but they've suffered some injuries to the back end of their bullpen, which they'll have to figure out. I mean, Shelby Miller and Ginks in the back there right now, like, I think they're probably going to have to improve on that, although both those guys can do it. But I think that's an issue for them. You know, having your two best high leverage relievers coming into the season out, that hurts. And then if for some reason with this strong National League, if for some reason they're kind of middling, they have a bad couple weeks or a month and it's around the trade deadline, they like some of their starters, some of their best players are in walk years. And would they try to be advantageous and take advantage of what we think is going to be a thin trade market? That's the only, and I said this, I think in 2023 when they went on to the World Series, like maybe they're going to sell. That would be the only caveat. I think the other teams, the Giants aren't selling. The Padres, clearly we thought they were going to sell. They're not. Dodgers not either. So I think they're the one team where I could see if they were like, oh man, we're like 4 or 5 games from a playoff spot and maybe we reset. That's the only reason I would see them not being in the race and kind of falling out of contention.
They brought in Corbin Burns this offseason, man. They're in it. I don't see that. I think I love the Snakes. 4th in OPS, 4th in runs scored. I think their pitching is going to be better, and I wonder if it's going to be a ripple effect that if the starting pitching gets a little better, maybe the bullpen starts to feel that a little more because their starting pitching should be so much better. 24th in ERA is unacceptable out of that rotation. That, again, it's so early in the season, I'm going to half glass full that one. That like I think the starting pitching is coming, and I think the bullpen figures it out. It's a lot of I think, which I don't love out of myself. You can't pick the Dodgers, and neither of us are picking the Padres because they look like they can go toe-to-toe with LA still. That for me, it basically becomes a Giants or Diamondbacks question. I would lean the Giants. I guess I just get nervous about that lineup. Even for how much I love Jung Hoo Lee and how good he's looked, like still to do it for 162 is really hard. And there's, other guys in that lineup that I think it can get thin at one point. Like, dude, almost 35-year-old Mike Yastrzemski took over the leadoff spot, and hey, maybe he rides that out the whole year. Let's see. But I'm still seeing some spots in that lineup that make me nervous. And their starting pitching hasn't been too great. So hey, if you're a Giants fan, you're saying, well, our starting pitching is going to be better than that. So, there's a reason why it's a good question. I would just, the Diamondbacks missing out on the playoffs by a half game last year that ended up being the Mets spot where the Mets went on a run. I know it doesn't work that way, but a Diamondbacks team that made the World Series, I guess I want to believe in that mattering.
So you think they keep Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly the entire year and just offer him the qualifying offer at the end of the year?
I'm not sure what they do. I think you got to see what happens with the rest of this season. I think it's a good fallback plan, but the Snakes might have deep pockets now. If I was really going to nerd you out, Phoenix, Arizona has been one of the top fastest growing cities in the economy. I don't know. Why not do that? And Merrill Kelly, it's been kind of weird with the cramp stuff he's got going on. And let's see how Gallen finishes this year. His contract variation is currently pretty big, depending on how he finishes this year.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be big either way. But if he struggled a little bit at the start, if he goes the full season as the Zach Gallen we know, we start adding zeros to a contract that maybe that is out of the Snakes' price range. maybe it's not. So I don't know. I don't think we've seen the best of the Snakes this year.
Cole Tucker sent me a house his neighbor is selling his house. He sent it to me. He said, "You want to move to Arizona? Do I trade my aging QB1 in for the young budding media star?"
Yeah, what is Cole now? Just a star?
Just a star.
Cole, then send me that link. Indeed, he did not. Oh, and would you look at that? Today's episode is sponsored by Indeed. Just realized your business needs to hire someone yesterday? You can find amazing candidates fast just by using Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. Your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. Sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. Talkin Baseball listeners will get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Talkin. Just go to Indeed.com/Talkin right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Talkin. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed is all you need.
Hey, Talkin Baseball. My name is Gianluca. I'm a Mets fan. I've been a Mets fan my whole life. My question is, what do you think is the weakest part of the Mets team right now? I know they're doing really good, but I feel like there's one weak part of their team. And if you think there is a weak part, what would you want to improve? How would you improve that weak part of the team? Like, would you make a trade? Maybe like a mediocre free agent signing? Like, what would you do to improve that weak part of the team?
Trev, I know you wanted us to text Jolly to get a Mets fan's insight on that. Was the text sent, Rob?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. What Jolly Olive say?
He said, Jolly Olive, do you want me to do his voice? No, I'm just
yes.
kidding.
Wait. I think we should give our answers.
Oh.
I'll give my answer.
Oh, okay. You want King Jolly to come in.
Okay.
Sorry, Rob.
I don't want to just if we had the same thing, I don't want to make it seem like I'm copying Jolly.
Wow. You want the street cred. Okay.
I think coming into the season, been wrong a lot about the Mets, starting pitching, all these things. But coming into the season, one thing I really wasn't questioning was the lineup. And I was like, I think early on in the season, we even said, can this be the deepest lineup in the sport? That was a Chris Rose question, I believe. But the bottom half of the lineup hasn't really been it this year. Mark Vientos has struggled. He's had a couple of good games. Jeff McNeil, 653 OPS. Brandon Nimmo, 678. He had that huge game that's kind of like buoyed his stats a little bit. Before that, it was really bad. Luis Angel Acuna, he's been okay. Like, I expect more out of him. I just don't think that lineup has been as long as we thought it could be. So if we're looking for a weakness on a team that's been really, really good, I would say it's the bottom half of the lineup hasn't been what we thought they could be.
I like that. I think that's definitely one of the options. I was interested if you'd maybe play like a defense card because, depending on the day, like if it's Alonso, Soto, McNeil,
Alonso can scoop it, bro.
Oh, I know. And who cares? You need Soto and Pete hitting bombs. For me, I don't know if this is unpopular or popular with the Mets fans, but for me, I'd bolster the bullpen because when I look at the powers in the National League and I look at San Diego and what they're coming out with out there, the Dodgers, if they're fully healthy come October, what they have in their bullpen, and how playoff baseball has turned into, I just think at a certain point it's an arms race. And I know that the Mets are the new Brewers and they have their pitching lab and their pitching factory. But, Trev, there's still something to October. I think you need the Jimmies and the Joes out there. And you need some names that, again, I don't want it to be shots fired at the Mets bullpen and some of these new guys who are performing really well for them. But I don't know. I know Max Kranick's been fun and Brazoban's been twirling the pill for them. But, if it's the postseason and you go through the names in the Padres bullpen, the Dodgers bullpen and then the Mets bullpen, and you say, hey, am I willing to lose playoff games because of Kirby Yates? Yeah, man, he's had a 0 ERA last year. Am I willing to lose playoff games because of Jason Adam, Robert Suarez? Like, yeah, if they get knocked around, what do you do? Like, that's the best we can bring. That a couple of these guys in the Mets bullpen, compared to those other guys' resumes, and maybe that's where I'm being dumb and obnoxious, and I need to appreciate them more. But I don't. If I'm the Mets team and I have this magical season and Soto and Pete and Lindor and the whole thing, and then we lose in 4 or 5, 6, whatever it is, and it comes down to our bullpen, that would hurt me.
I'm not going to call you dumb and obnoxious. I'm not going to do that.
Thank you.
I just think, I mean, the bullpen's been great. Like, they've had dudes.
I know.
And when you get into the playoffs, you know it doesn't have to be a star. We've had guys become stars in the postseason because of what they've been able to do. Our guy Ginks did it. How about Daniel Hudson, 2019, Washington Nationals? Does that bring back a little memories for you? So I know what you're saying. You want guys that have been there and like aren't going to fade when the pressure comes. I get that. But I think their bullpen's been damn good. I do want to the starting pitching, I'm going to name the names, right? We kind of done this before. David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Griffin Canning, Tyler McGill, and Kodai Senga. Like, that doesn't sound like the best rotation in baseball to me. If I'm just saying the names, they've made all of their starts. I believe they've had Braziban has opened 2 games for them, but like they largely just relied on those 5 guys. David Peterson 3.52, Clay Holmes 2.95, Griffin Canning 2.5, Tyler McGill 2.5, Kodai Senga 1.38. So David Peterson with his 3.5 is leading or like the worst starting pitcher for the Mets.
Right.
Like they've done it. They're the Brewers. Clay Holmes still hasn't allowed a home run. I love it.
What Jolly Bag say?
Right now, at least it's their numbers with runners in scoring position. Guys in the middle of the order like Vientos and Nimmo not doing enough offensively. That or lack of innings pitched from the rotation. They're good, but they're all 5 and dive.
Isn't that like on the manager a little bit, like by design?
A little bit, and
shut up, Jolly. What do you know?
I guess I'm taking points for that because if I can get 4 or 5 innings out of those guys in the postseason, that's kind of what postseason baseball turned into. Like, remember the Dodgers wheeling out their full. Like when the Dodgers had a lead in the 3rd inning last year, it was like, okay, well they can pitch out the rest of this game. That I'm going to give myself a fake point for that. So.
Oh, you thought you won that?
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned Mark Vientos and Brandon Nimmo struggling, too.
Hitting with runners in scoring position. That's what every team needs.
Just give me 1 second.
Literally
I'm pulling up a page right here. I mean, you're talking about a bullpen and starters that have starters best ERA in baseball, bullpen 6th best ERA in baseball. I don't know, man.
Boost it, baby.
The Mets are good.
Mets are good. Is it Swilly time?
Swilly. Oh my, that's the first time an Angel shirt has ever been worn on this program.
All right, we have a special treat today. The newest John Boy Media employee, Angels super fan. Is that? I don't know if you want to be listed that way. Swilly is here. How are you, Swilly?
I am so good. Angels won yesterday, so nothing can bring me down. Like I don't know what you want me to say.
I don't know what I want you to say about your Angels. I know we do have an Angels voicemail question coming up. For the people that don't know you, we did a longer version of this the other day, but for those being introduced to you, who are you, Swilly?
Yeah, okay. So, hi, I'm Swilly, born and raised in Southern California, maybe like 15, 20 minutes outside of Anaheim. Been an Angel fan pretty much my whole life, first generation though. So found baseball, found the Angels on my own when they were a powerhouse, in the 2000s. And yeah, love baseball. I played softball since I was 12, played college ball. Now I'm a slow pitch softball addict. So most of my content is Angels, baseball, maybe a little bit of hockey, football mixed in, and slow pitch softball. So yeah, that's me.
Well, the whole office is oddly excited to have you here.
Appreciate
we
that.
had you come to a warehouse event, and
right.
I didn't realize how popular you were.
That's
like
crazy.
throughout every department. Our graphics team. I mean, I know you already know, but Sarah Tepper is like,
Oh, I love her.
just created a
Whoa,
new best friend.
don't steal Sarah from me.
Oh,
Sarah
she
and
gone.
T-Jax, those are mine.
No, Trev, they're both gone. They're on the
I'm
Swilly
out. Yeah,
train.
I know. Well, this is
Sorry
the
about
thing. Like, we're just like singing your praises, all these things. Look, I had a great time with you when we met at the warehouse.
Yes.
But I got to bring you down a little bit. This is like Mike Leake.
Yes.
Straight to the big league. She's been in the office for one day and she's on Talkin Baseball.
wow.
Where's the grind?
That's
at?
what
3
the-
days,
This
by
is
the
what,
way.
this is what the
So-
Angels
3
do,
days.
bro.
3
Nolan
days.
Shanuel, you're up, kid.
I mean, that's right.
Yeah, we just call him up.
It's the
that's,
theme.
That's Angels baseball.
Ron Washington would not like that.
So,
You're right.
Are you kidding me?
Get out there and do some early defense.
Swilly's going to be all over John Boy Media, JM Baseball, here, there, our warehouse challenges. If you guys don't know, we've got a new channel, our warehouse challenges. Can't miss challenges, collaborations. The channel's already going. We've got a new video every Monday. And this is me going off script. It's YouTube. It's the most addictive thing you could get into. These videos, we're trying to catch balls 100 miles per hour coming at us. We've got it's literally built for YouTube. If you're looking to melt in the couch late at night or get through the workday, which a lot of you already use this for, go check out and subscribe to our Warehouse Challenges YouTube. All right, let's get this Halos voicemail rolling.
So excited for this.
Hey, what's good, guys? Not much good over here as an Angels fan. So my question is, will it ever get better? Like, ever?
Swilly?
Oh,
That's all I got. Love the show. Thanks, guys.
Oh, what a sweet soul. Oh, man. I mean, okay, so here's my follow-up question. I mean, how real can this answer get?
So real. That's all we do here. We don't.
Yeah,
me and
it,
Trev
right?
don't play
For real.
games.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I don't really think things change until Artie Moreno is out. That's what I think. I think what I've come to the conclusion as a fan, as a person that is watching every game, that is diving into the stats every day, I think that there is a information recall issue. I think that Artie Moreno has trimmed so much of the fat in so many of these departments when it comes to player development, statistics, things like that, that we're just not getting the information that some of these other ball clubs are getting. So as a most recent example, you can look at Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning was in our organization for a while, recently went to the Mets and has been gross for them. And all they have done all they've told him to do was not throw all they've told him to do. Not throw his fastball as much, throw his slider more, and he's been gross. And it's like, why is that not a discussion in California, but it is in New York? So that's what I think it is. I think that it's a combination of the two. I think that Perry is trying his best. I think that there are so many players on this team that people love because of Perry. So, to be honest with you, I don't think things change until those departments get beefed up again and or until Artie sells the team. So,
Coach?
I wouldn't feel too bad about Griffin Canning because the Mets are they're the new Brewers, if you don't know that.
Oh,
They
sure.
just make pitching out of nowhere. You can also say the same thing about the Yankees and not having Clay Holmes be a starter. How about that? So egg on Yankees fans' faces.
Okay.
I didn't know so they've trimmed the analytical department down. They've trimmed the player development department down. While the Dodgers, 40 miles north, I don't know if that's the right mileage,
Sounds about
have
right.
just beefed up every single department.
Right.
They have one coach to every 3 players in their organization. The Angels are going a different way, the opposite way. And I think the Dodgers are kind of doing pretty well for themselves, aren't they?
They are.
That's crazy.
I like the point of we get caught up with, okay, Griffin Canning, he's on the Mets now. Oh, these Mets, they got it figured out, man. Like they know they got the pitching lab, and look at Griffin Canning now. and starter Clay Holmes, sure. ERA is higher than it was on the Yanks. But going back to last year, one that always comes in my head, the team that used to be the Brewers, Tobias Myers. He was from the Chicago White Sox, and they just snagged him. And it's sometimes we focus on these teams that have figured out kind of a next level of pitching that they get to tap into kind of whatever they want that we ignore. Like, Trev, I already know your answer to this, and so do the Talking Baseball people. When Reed Detmers gets out of Anaheim, bye. Like, if Reed Detmers lands in the Mets or Milwaukee or Tampa or New York, like, everyone's in on Reed Detmers, but right now he's sitting in the Halos pen waiting to get tapped in and throwing okay, right?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oops.
No, he has not been. He's not been good in the pen this
He's
year.
not. Shouldn't be in the bullpen. That's why.
I think. Okay, I do. To be honest, I agree with that. I do think that if he is moved to a different environment, he will succeed more, and that's for a number of different reasons. But I think that he just.
I hadn't seen Reed's last 2 outings where 5 earned runs and 4 earned runs. So
in back-to-back games.
He was multi-innings, 2.57 ERA. I was like, okay, Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough with bullpen guys this early, right? Like, I mean, Kenley had a 0 ERA. He had 1 bad outing, and now it's like a 5.7 or something like that. So that happens. But I think with Reed specifically, his peaks are so high and his values are so low. Like, obviously, he threw a no-hitter, threw an immaculate inning in his rookie year. That was insane. And when he starts off hot, he's so good. And then I think he just has a bad start or two, and he gets in his head a little bit. Maybe he doesn't have the proper support system coaching. I'm not really sure. But you're right. The analytics love him. He's gross. Like, he has one of the best curveballs I've seen in an Angels uniform. But yeah, he's gross, and I think if he ends up going somewhere else, he will be much better. So
I got one thing, and this is way too much Angels talk.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You get used to it, baby. I'm here to stay. So
my Halos.
The 2021 draft.
Oh yeah.
The famous pitcher-only draft.
Right.
Has been not very fruitful.
Sure.
Stuff like that, to me, is indicative of an organization that was reeling, trying to find a path. They had no pitching, so hey, let's go draft exclusively pitching. And really, nobody has worked out. That, to me, maybe to your point, like the scouting department, where were they cut then? Like, who was in charge? Because you can't miss. You took 20 pitchers, and you missed.
So the only thing that I'll say about that draft is that part of that draft, I don't know exactly how many of them, but a lot of them were high school guys that got drafted. You're welcome. So there could be some of that. No, but I agree with what you're saying. Obviously that draft was quite crazy, drafting only pitchers.
Wait, no. I thought it was 19 of 20 were college pitchers.
I don't think so. I think there was
I'm almost positive. I
might be wrong.
I think it's a lot of college.
Okay.
19 of the 20 picks were college pitchers. They've traded a bunch of these guys away already to get guys that didn't help their organization. Yeah. But you can't miss like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it happened. It happened. I don't know. That was also 4 years ago, so I don't know.
It's tough for me because I don't know. Part of me loved this when it happened. It's like, hey, we need pitching really bad. Let's go for it.
We did say that. We're like, hey, at least you did something.
But how many? Okay, out of a normal draft class, how many major leaguers are you actually expecting to get? Because 3 guys made the bigs. We love Chase Silseth.
Yeah.
Love might be dramatic, but
he's got some gross.
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't know. It's a catch-22 because how many other drafts have there been for teams where one or no guys have made it and they did the draft, quote unquote, the normal way? So I see every side of it. Yeah.
I don't know. Like if you're putting all your eggs in the pitching basket, it really hasn't.
Yeah.
in 2021, all these guys should be making their debuts now.
Yeah.
Like we should be seeing all of these guys, or at least, a handful of them debuting and helping the organization out. I just have it. I don't know. I remember that draft, and the fact that it went so poorly is just kind of more Angel stuff that we always talk about.
Sure, but it was 4 years ago. So I don't know. I
I'm saying
agree
they
with
should
you.
be debuting now. You have to be in the minor leagues. No, it's not always right away. First 2 years,
Right.
you got to go do it in the minor leagues and come up. But this is the time where they should be seeing these guys helping the team out, and they just have it. There's a lot of stuff wrong with the Angels, obviously.
I mean, yes, trust me, I'm on your side. I completely agree. I completely agree with you.
Yes.
Hoping. I mean, there's quite a few fun guys to watch on this team, but there's dysfunction going on behind the scenes, and I just think that's why they just aren't playing up to their potential. So,
Favorite player on the Angels, go.
Oh, Zach Neto for sure.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm a Zach Neto
Obviously.
truther through and through. Although I do love Logan O'Hoppe, and Ryan Zephyr-John has also been really, really fun to watch.
Were you ready to fight Tarek Skubal too?
Okay, so I'll say this: I'm really competitive, so I love it. I mean, I think it's cool to watch them, jaw at each other and then give each other their respects after the fact. Neto won the first round, Skubal won the second. I love it.
Let's do one more. Let's go not Angels. We can't
Oh, geez.
end with Angels. That's
My question is, do you really think that the A's can make the playoffs? I mean, their team is insanely young, and their hitting's really good, and their pitching pretty solid all around. And do you think they could even win the division? Thank you.
AL West Swilly. I'll kick to you. What have you seen from your Athletics?
That's a fun one. I mean, from a really basic perspective, the AL West minus the Angels is it's a pretty tight race so far. I mean, obviously we're so early into the season, but they're a fun team. They have a lot of really fun young guys. Soderstrom is great. I like Lawrence Butler a lot. So I say, why not? Like, what do they have to lose? What pressure do they have to go out there and just have fun and play ball? I say, why not? Especially with the way that the AL West and the AL in general is kind of shaping up right now. So why not?
Coach?
I think they can, but they need to go make additions to the starting rotation, maybe even bring in another piece for the bullpen. I think the lineup can get it done. They have a nice blend of, contact and power, and, they've overachieved offensively. Maybe have a little bit of recency bias there, but to me, if they really want to be a serious contender and make the playoffs, they need to add to that rotation. I mean,
That's fair.
I know I just did this for the Mets, and it was like, oh gosh, like these guys are crushing it. But Severino, Sears, Springs, Beto, Ginn, it's just, we need more.
They've got an interesting little stretch coming up. Yankees, Dodgers, Giants.
Okay.
Then the Angels we just talked about.
That's right.
If they get through this stretch, I know it's corny and it's 9 games, but three of the powers in baseball so far this year. That's actually maybe 2 complimentary for the Yankees, but the Dodgers and the Giants on the road. Let's see if they are still right now. They're 3 games above 500. They're second in the AL West. That I think being young and dumb is a beautiful thing. I think they have that. I think their hitting has another potential gear in it. Everyone loves Kurt's common Nick. That let's see what he's got going on. My guy Miguel Andujar raking back at it. Again, have one Miguel Andujar stock somewhere hidden in my profile. What do we call those packages?
Portfolios.
Portfolios even. I think you're right. They would need another pitcher, and I don't know with the pitching and how much of a commodity it's going to be at this trade deadline. I don't know how much the Athletics are going to put in to that compared to every other team that's willing to go in. They just called up who had a good start. Gunnar Hoglund.
Yeah.
Drafted after the first round in 2021.
Can we stop?
So that's something else. What? I don't know. Is this not the most athletic story ever? They're going to be playing in 120-degree games. lean into that a little more. Like when they have a homestand, just be like, "Welcome to hell." Like, why not?
All of them have no
and
undershirts,
we just
sleeves cut off.
I go the other
Come
way.
play ball here, baby.
Wear long sleeves. People are passing out. I don't know. We just talked about that the AL's weak. That I don't know. Keep winning some games and make something happen.
Why not?
Are they going to sabotage the other teams? Like, oh, your water's out. Oops.
Yes, like absolutely.
That would be something that wouldn't be far-fetched, I feel like.
There's no rules against
They
it.
might not have. I'm assuming they have water in Sacramento. That's what the people have told
Surely
me.
they
There's
do.
a Sacramento River, isn't there? How about that for topography
You two
knowledge?
are my Cali girls. I don't know. Sacramento River. God.
Not on your
bowing
books,
out.
Billy?
I'm bowing out on this one. I'm going to be honest.
All right.
Okay.
surely,
go.
surely there's a river in Sacramento somewhere.
As an
Surely.
A's alum, I'm rooting for the A's. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Fair enough.
All right. I think, Swilly, we might kick you out. I think
Fair
we got
enough.
to do a little DraftKings bet the cycle, but thank you.
Beautiful.
And yeah, everyone go follow and check out Swilly. Yeah, I think you're going to, I think if you like John Boy Media and you don't know Swilly yet, you're going to be a big Swilly fan.
I appreciate that. So nice. So
Appreciate
nice.
you.
Thank you guys for having me
Go
on.
Halo up.
Go Halos.
Go Lowe's.
Go Lowe's is crazy.
There is
that
a
good?
Sacramento River ship channel.
Thank you,
The
Swilly.
Sacramento River. I was right.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody who called in. Hey, if you like this episode and you want to call in and leave a voice message, we're probably going to try to do this regularly if the people like it. So comment below if you like it, you didn't like it, or what you'd like to see more of. We're going to wrap it up like we do with DraftKings Bet the Cycle. Use code JMBaseball when you sign up at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Trev, lead us off.
I'll start off with a single for us, and you know what? I'm going to do a little little drag here to get on base. I think this one is kind of a layup. George Springer to record 1+ hit tonight versus the Angels. He was batting fourth last night, hit a homer. He's facing Kikuchi. He's 7 for 16 career off of Kikuchi, and he's been crushing it in May, and he's just had a great start to this season. That's a layup for me, Jake.
Former teammates there, Springer, Kikuchi going at it. The double, and I don't know. I guess this counts as a double, but the Tigers sweeping the doubleheader against the Rockies. Your best record in the American League heading into Wednesday against your worst record in the National League. Teeing it up for 2. Tigers take them both.
Garrett Crochet for the triple. We're going to go under 5.5 Ks. I like that bet right there. He has struck out 5+ batters in every start since his Red Sox debut. He struck out 4 of them, but every start after that he has. But here's the caveat, Jake. He's facing the Royals, like I said, and they have the second lowest K percentage in all of baseball. He's faced the Royals just one time as a starter. He went 5 innings pitched. How many Ks? 5. So under the 5.5. We're taking that for our triple.
Yes, you are bold, but are you daring? Our home run, Freddie Freeman. There's 4 games against the D-backs. So, you know, this is a little sprinkle to try to hit the home run. And it's Freddie hitting 2 in 1 game this weekend against the Diamondbacks. Career at Chase Field, 55 games. Frederick is hitting .373 with 16 homers and a 1.135 OPS. He likes hitting there. He's already got 3 homers in May. That the homer swing is there for Freddie. One of these games this weekend, he gets a double dip.
He just hit a homer against the Marlins, making him the all-time leader in home runs against the Marlins.
Jesus. Man, Marlins. I know.
Any stat you look at Freddie's, you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Hey, we got our double last week. Again, get in on the actions with DraftKings Sportsbook, code Talkin. We appreciate them. We appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the midweek. We will be back on Friday recapping it. What happened? Apparently, Reed Detmers got knocked around.
Jake sucks. Way too much Angels talk on this app.
Hello, it's me, Valentin. What would you ladies like to do this day at the Wet Lotus?
You need a little bit more of a tan.
I'd like
That's all I'm
that.
saying.
I'd like that. I need to golf.